appreciate all the love and support. And today, I'm doing that test on Frost Queen Cookie to find out what the best build is for Frost Queen Cookie. I did a lot of tests against friends on my friend list. I tested to see what gave me the best win rate. I went with a higher cooldown, all cooldown, 4 cooldown, 1 attack, 3 attack, 2 cooldown, all kinds of different combinations to see what was the best way to build the Frost Queen Cookie. Now keep in mind, this is going to be comp dependent, so you might be running a different comp and you might want a higher cooldown. That's alright, that's going to happen. Doesn't mean my build's wrong, just means your comp takes a different kind of build, right? So the build that I ended up settling on is this build with 3 cooldown, 2 attack. The reason being, I want that cooldown above 14%. I found any lower than that, I'm not getting that skill off fast enough. Alright? And any higher than that, well, when I'm running my specific comp with Sea Fairy, even if I get that 4-second initial timer compared to that 5-second initial timer, I still have to wait for Sea Fairy to go before I can use that skill. So on that initial skill timer, it doesn't really make a difference. Now it does give me faster cooldown during the match and I will get more skill off, but throughout the match I'm actually going to do less damage. So I ended up settling on this specific build. I found out when I did 4 cooldown, 1 attack, I actually ended up losing more often than when I did this. When I did 3 attack and 2 cooldown, while I did more damage, I even ended up losing more too. So this is kind of that perfect combination where I'm doing a little bit of damage and the cooldown's high enough that I'm getting that skill off enough times. So let's take this into battle. I'm going to show you exactly where it differentiated. This is one of the teams I tested against. As you can see, this is pretty much 5-star everything except for Holly Berry, which is 4-star. This is easily a top 100 player in the arena. They are not currently using Frost Queen, but this is a super elite team, one of the elite teams out there. The team I'm using, because I have a higher win rate than when I use double healer, is this team. When I go double healer, that Sorbet Shark just tears apart my team. I need Pumpkin Pie to kind of help defend against Sorbet Shark. So Sorbet Shark only hits Holly Berry and Pom Pom instead of Holly Berry and taking out one of my legendary attackers, right? 1.2 speed, so you can see it in action. I'm going to pause after Frost Queen uses her skill. So you can see 4-second, 5-second delay. Regardless, I'm using the skill at this point. Okay, skill-wise, 265, 270,000. So in this configuration, I'm doing about 265, 270,000. When I do 3 attack top-ins, I'm doing about 300,000 at this point, so I am doing more damage. But I have the higher cooldown in this configuration, so I will be able to use my skill more often. So let's see. This is always a close fight, regardless, just because the team I'm going against is such a high damage resist and high skill leveled up team. So inevitably, my Sea Fairy will use the feather. So Frost Queen got that skill off again. Oh, Holly Berry actually used the feather.
I will not falter.
Witness the might of the seas!
I will not falter!
So I got the win, even though Holly Berry ended up using the feather. Typically, my Sea Fairy lived for some reason. Typically, my Sea Fairy would have lost first, used that feather, got that skill off, and I would have won that match a little faster. Damage 1.29 million from Frost Queen, 2.3 million from my Parfait Cookie. So what happened is, when I fought that fight, specifically against that team comp, I would average about 1.4 million damage with Frost Queen when I had 3 attack top-ins, 2 CD. When I go 2 attack top-ins, 3 CD, doing about 1.2 million damage. And when I went 4 CD and 1 attack top-in, I did a little under 1 million damage. Now I was able to use the skill more often, but the damage was reduced. And then when I had the higher damage, I used the skill less often, so they didn't get that 2-second cooldown delay. So at both ends of the spectrum, I lost more than right here in the middle. right? And with that 25.8% damage resist, cooldown of 14.4%, and tag about 20%, that kind of gave me that right mix, right in the middle, that 1.2 million, right? Using the skill more often. I found this in my test against most teams to be more reliable, to give me a higher win rate. Now, if you're using Frost Queen without Sea Fairy, you're definitely going to want to get that cooldown above 17%, so that initial timer is at 4 seconds. And there's a lot of good comps that don't use Sea Fairy, specifically like a Frost Queen, Pumpkin Pie comp with, say, Snow Sugar Cookie, right? Also, you can use like a Frost Queen, Pumpkin Pie Cookie, Cotton, Holly Berry. There's a lot of different comps that don't necessarily need Sea Fairy, and in that kind of specific comp, you want a higher cooldown. But if you're using Sea Fairy, I find this a little lower cooldown, but still above 14%. Really helpful to give you a little bit more damage and increase that win rate. Personally, 3 cooldown, 2 attack was the way to go. Thanks for checking out this video. Talk to you later.